And there's the bottom 33%, the lower 33, and they're people that maybe you can help up. They're maybe, they might even drag you down. So you want to keep a balance. You don't want to hang down here, and you don't want to hang all of it here. And then there's that magic space. There's that top 33%. And that's where you want to find the connections. It might take one, just one, to change your life, because you talk to one, and a lot of times people are real givers. They're going to open up their whole community to you. God, the universe has so much more out there for us that we're not even tapping into. So really being open to receiving. And so
Hello, Jill. How are you doing?
hi, how are you? It's nice to see you.
Great to see you. Welcome to the show. I appreciate your time.
Thank
And
you.
for sure, I even appreciate a lot more what you do. Like you do so much beautiful work in the world, and we're going to talk all about it, about the connections that you make with people. And the reason I want to tell you thank you, because I'm from the people that many times I think I could do it all my own. And I might love helping other people, but I'm not for the people who love to be connected or asking for help. So I really appreciate all the beautiful work you do, because I know connections is one of the most important things for us in life. So I would love to hear more about how you got like into this whole connection thing and making connections to between people.
Yeah, well, thank you for asking, and thanks for having me on your show. I really appreciate it. For me, it started when I was young because I was like the least popular kid in school, one of the least popular kids. And so I got really good at studying what makes people popular. Like, why are some people just so people gravitate towards certain people and why don't they? And others they don't. And so being picked on and bullied, and then seeing other kids that were bullied, I just had I have such empathy, for, people that are, not accepted. I think is where that started. And, over the years, I think as a, young person at age 7, moving to a new city and, trying to adapt and fit in. And then by the time I was like 12 years old, I was in 7th grade, and I realized that there are all these popular kids, and then there are these different groups of kids that were like, different in different cliques, so to speak. And they were like, the maybe the goth kids or the nerds or the, whatever. They all have these little groups, right? And so, but none of those groups, the unpopular kids, were really together. So they had all these little, little sects. And so I said, okay, how can we? I realized we could do the same thing. So I did this crazy thing. I got a clipboard and I got a paper with names, lines on it, and I started to hand it out, pass it around in the school to the unpopular kids, so to speak. And I said, if you do want to be in this group, and it was all a mix of all the different groups that were unpopular, so to speak. Again, this is just, what I'm saying. This kind of thing. And so about 40 kids signed it and put their name and phone
Wow.
number down. So then my mom took the page just to work, and she made copies of it, and I handed it out to everybody who signed it. And I said, here, now this is our group, and now we should say hi to each other and act like the popular group does. And when you see each other, you say hi in the lunch line, you acknowledge each other. And so everyone did that. And we
Wow.
actually got a reputation. Some of the popular kids would come up and say, are you in that unpopular group? And everybody like, yeah, I am. And so I was like, that was my first, real thing of like creating connection and creating community, because I don't want anyone to ever feel like they don't matter, like they don't belong. And I want everyone to feel like they're seen and that are appreciated. And so for me, being in that space of not being there, I created a way that we could feel appreciated. And so everything I do is always about including everyone. I cast a wide net. I pray every morning to open my heart, God, and love everyone equally without judgment. And I'm not saying I do it all the time, but that's my goal. That's what I aspire to do. Because when my heart's open, more open to loving myself and loving those that I'm closest to. And so this idea of connection and putting together my YouTube channel, Jill Collins Connections, and the whole brand that I've created, is to give access to my audience that may not have the ability to pay the money I've paid to be in certain mastermind groups, or haven't experienced the places that I've been, or the knowledge that I've gained. And so I'm like, let me share with you these people that I've met, and you get to see what they're about, and you can learn something from them, and you can get ideas and get inspiration and find hope, and say, as I say in my channel, is I want people to walk away saying, I can do that. I didn't know that was possible. And then they get inspiration. They get an ignited, and they want to start something new because they learned something. So that's my whole, that's the core, that's the basis of who I am.
Wow, that's amazing. First, I'll say, what you did in that age group, and any age group, connections is important, and to feel that you're wanted and that you have a place in life, it always matters. But there are so many stories about kids that felt that they're outside of the group and they don't feel connected, they don't feel wanted, maybe they don't have a place in this world. So doing it at that age, that's like, I really appreciate you for that, because it's so important. I know so many stories of kids that went through a terrible childhood because they didn't have that connection. So I really appreciate you for that and what you're doing also right now. And
Mhm.
I want to ask you, like I said at the beginning, today I'm better than that, but I used to not, I used to be the one connecting people, but I didn't like to be I looked at it like as asking for help. So someone like I used to be in the past, and I'm still sometimes a little bit like that, to be honest. Why would you say that connection is so important right now in life? So let's say, they feel that they feel wanted, they like, I feel I'm doing good with myself. I could do it. I'm good. I'm fine. Why do you think connection is so important for someone like that?
I think we're only good as our ideas that are around us. And, for me, if I am left up to what I know that I know, there's three kinds of knowing. We know what we know, we know what we don't know, and we don't know what we don't know. And so for me, this idea of connecting again is how much more can we expand upon in ourselves and grow and elevate when we allow others in to help us. And it may be in varying degrees. Sometimes we're not comfortable. I'm not great at asking for help. I'm learning. And when I do, I get an abundance of help, sometimes too much. And it's like, whoa, I don't know where to go with this. And that takes boundaries and saying, okay, that's great. Thank you. I appreciate your help. Now I'm going to go this direction. And that's another story. But I think it's so valuable because really, we've all heard this, I think, already, but it's the idea when people want to give. Have you ever, I don't know about you, do you like it when you have a gift and you're going to give it to someone? Isn't it almost more exciting to give that gift and wait for them to open it and see what their reaction is going to be than it is for you to open one they gave you?
For sure. For sure.
Yeah. So here we are when we say, no, I've got it. We're literally cutting someone else's opportunity off to give us that gift that makes them feel good. And so that's one thing, if that's a way that motivates someone to receive. But really, for me, I find out that when I said what you don't know what you don't know, is that if I pray and I say, okay, God, give me this amazing opportunity here. I want to have this kind of business. And that's what I know, right? So, and then we say, I don't know what the business is like. Maybe it's not even a business, but God, give me something. This is what I know I don't know. And then if we just say, God, allow me to align with God or whoever universe, however you want to call, whatever it is works for you, is however you choose to believe. But it's this, use me for your purpose. Help me align with your purpose, with my soul's work. And that's what my prayer is every day, because if I'm not doing that, if I'm praying for the right man in my life, the way I understand it, maybe the right job opportunity or business opportunity, guess what? I'm shortchanging myself, because God, the universe, has so much more out there for us that we're not even tapping into. So really being open to receiving. And so the prayer is, God, surprise me. Surprise me. Show me what I'm not seeing. I need a miracle today. Show me what I'm not seeing. And when I do that, stuff shows up and I'm like, what? It's unpredictable and it's exciting and it's scary, but it's good.
Amazing. It's amazing. You just remind me something that Wayne Dyer says: have a mind open to everything and attached to nothing. Anything and everything is possible. And I think through the connections, many times, like you said, like we are one person, and each person has a beauty in them. And I believe we're all here to serve our purpose greater than ourselves, but that's through the beauty that we have in ourselves. And all that's good. I really do believe in that. But I think, period, no but. The powerful part is that there are much more creations. There's Jill, there are many other people that can help us see. They could be God's messengers and see much more. Even I think someone that feels like he has it all good, and he's like in the middle of everything, and he knows how everything's going to work. Sometimes I told myself and also other people, just go outside. Right now it's dark by me. Go look at the stars. Like, it's a whole huge world, and we're just a small, beautiful part, but there are much more other parts there. And I think one connection, in your case, also what you did now, what you do now, and also what you did back when you were a kid, one connection could really change someone's life, and you have no clue from where that connection comes. So I think it's really crucial to understand that, because even if we're in a great place, for sure, if we're not, but even if we think that we are, a connection is something, the right connection is something that can really change our life. But my question is, so I could say, okay, Jill, you're doing good in life. You know how to make connections, but like, why would someone, like, how do I make connections? Like, I'm in a place I'm not doing well, things are not going the way I want. How do you recommend for someone to create connections? And of course, I really recommend people follow you on YouTube and contact you. But in addition to that, I would love to say that, like, how can I make connection if I don't feel that I'm not worthy of connecting to someone else?
Oh, I love that question. Thank you for asking it. Yeah, I came from a very, simple upbringing. Didn't have a lot. And, there was a point in life when I was younger where I was, in debt and, finding change on the floor of the car in the house to be able to put gas in my car, and I've been in so much debt that I was maxed out on credit cards, and the only credit I had left was on a Texaco gas card, and I was going to the gas station to buy groceries and toilet paper. I mean, I've been there, so I understand this. And it's basically, how do we find connection? How do we find the right people? And I'm going to give you a little example. There's a rule, and I love teaching this. It's the 33% rule. And if you imagine a triangle, and it's split in three parts, this is what's made up of our social circles, like who we associate with. And these are our connections, right? And so the middle 33% are those that are in our life on a regular basis. It could be our family, friends, coworkers, people like that. And those people are going to keep us at status quo. They're going to keep us kind of in that comfort zone. And then, and there are oftentimes people that are going to be like, you go to the tailgating with them, you hang out at the bars on the weekends with them, you're just kind of staying at the level you're at. And there's the bottom 33%, the lower 33, and they're people that maybe you can help up. They might even drag you down. So you want to keep a balance. You don't want to hang down here, and you don't want to hang all of it here. And then there's that magic space. There's that top 33%. And that's where you want to find the connections. And it's, how do I get in that space? And these, the top 33% are these people, the people who are doing what you aspire to do, people who are where you want to go, basically, people who might even intimidate you a little bit. They might scare you a little, because it's like, oh, I don't know if I even want to talk. You said, I'm not sure if they'd even talk to me. Right. But you want to be careful with the arrogance. You don't want people who are arrogant. You want people who are doing good things that are going to change you, that are going to help you. And so it may not be direct contact with those people. It starts out with books, like on your bookshelf, finding books, getting in, finding YouTube channels, places to watch inspiring thought leaders like Evan Carmichael, and finding things like that to really grow, because your 33%, that's where you want to spend as much time as possible and really balance that out. Because we often know when we're hanging in that middle 33 is that people are saying things or doing things, they're talking about content or the news, and you're going like, yeah, it doesn't really resonate with me. I'm not really growing here. But how do you find that top? And how you find that top, again, is find people that maybe necessarily are not going to be people you'd meet in person. But I will challenge you, because I bet there is someone in your life that that scares you a little bit, that if you just had the courage to call them, and in your case, call them and interview them, ask them to be interviewed. I did that yesterday, and someone said yes, and I was like, oh my God, I'm so scared. Okay, now I'm on the hook. Now I've got to really, step up. And this is a huge person for me. I'm like, oh, so huge. And I don't want to rate in everyone's equal, but the people that are doing great things. And this is someone who's already accomplished so much. And I'm like, wow. So you're going to be a little nervous, but what they're going to do for you is they're going to challenge you. They're going to hold you accountable. They're going to help you see things you haven't thought about. And it's going to be a little painful sometimes, because it's not the friends that are going to just agree with you, that are just going to tell you you're just fine the way you are, that are going to maybe put you down a little bit to keep you there. It's people that are going to up-level you. So where do you find them? I would say definitely looking at attending conferences. Again, it's finding places that you can go to, finding free content first, and finding people. Where I like it is Clubhouse was really good for a while. I met a lot of people there. because I find people in rooms, and if you don't like the room, just leave and find a different room, and just connect with people, and then direct message them on Instagram and get to know them. And I've made a lot of friends that way, and it really expanded my community. Tony Robbins is doing a free challenge. It's actually starting right now for 5 days, and that's a great way to, it's free, and you can like jump in and things like that. There's things that you can do that don't cost a lot of money, but it really, and here's the thing, it doesn't take 40 people on a clipboard. It might take one, just one, to change your life, because you talk to one, and a lot of times people are real givers. They're going to open up their whole community to you, and it'll change your life. That happened to me when I was in my late 20s. I had a woman that scared me, and I was just starting my career, and I was a secretary, and I didn't know anything. I knew city, and I was thrown into this new job, and I just called her up and asked her to lunch, and I was so scared. My voice was cracking, my palms were sweating, I was shaking, and I thought, before you have a chance to just, chicken out, call her. And she said yes. And that woman changed my life. I got so many contacts, so many connections. She helped me and she mentored me. And I am so much of where I am today is because of that woman back when I was 28 years old, and half my life ago. And so I'm grateful. And now she's the president of USF, University of South Florida. And she's a very prominent woman, and she's really amazing, doing great things. So have the courage to reach out to someone that scares you a little bit, and you'd be surprised. They might be willing to talk to you and help you.
Wow.
That was a long answer, but
No, it's an amazing answer, and I really connected to what you said about actually going to someone that you might be scared a little bit about, approaching them. And I'll say why. Well, before I'll say why.
Hi, I hope this video is serving you. I just want to share with you that my belief in life is that you are here to serve a purpose greater than yourself. But in order to do that the best way, you must start with investing in yourself. Enjoy the rest of the video.
I think I personally, I don't hold anyone more than, I don't care if it's celebrity, whatever. Like, I look at the human being as a human being. I couldn't care less if they know how to sing, they know how to dance, or if they take care of kids, or like whatever they do. I appreciate them for a human being. But there are people that got certain success that are harder to reach. Doesn't say more or less about them. And what I really loved about what you said, Jill, is that many times when someone will want to reach someone and they'll have that scarcity, well, wait, like they'll be scared from reaching them. So they'll say, wait, so maybe that's a sign that I shouldn't go and reach out to them. And you're saying the exact opposite. You're saying, no, actually, you might be a little bit scared reaching them. That might be the person that can really change your life, right?
yeah.
And I think that's beautiful. What do you say to people that are afraid of rejection?
Yeah,
You
that's
will
a
get
great question,
rejected.
'cause we all are. That's one of my biggest fears. I would be doing a lot more if I didn't have that fear, and I have to work with myself every day on that. And which is probably why I give so much, because if I give, I feel like I can't be rejected. So there's a little tip, but I would say have the courage. Do one thing a day that scares you a little bit. Just pick one. It doesn't have to be, like I said, it doesn't have to be building that list of 40 people. Find one. Pick one thing a day and just tell yourself you're going to do it. If I do nothing else today, I'm going to do this one thing. And don't worry about rejection, because sometimes you have to look at it too like it's a numbers game. The first person you reach out to might not even return your phone call. They may not even respond to your text. And you know what? You've got to say, great, I'm one step closer to my next yes. And if it's really scary, and this applies to dating, because I do dating coachings, I've done it in the past, is make it a goal to get 10 no's. Don't get a yes, get 10 no's and be surprised. So your goal is to get 10 no's. But even more so, the thing about being, rejection is you're just going to have to give it a chance. And sometimes too, part of connecting is, if it's somebody that you think you can add value to their life, like maybe this is going to be a mentor of yours. If you see someone who's doing something that you have a way to offer benefit or help to them, like maybe you're a great graphic artist and they're doing social media, and you can say, hey, you know what, I'd really love to work with you. And I'd love it, I don't know if you mentor people, but I'd love for you to mentor me, help me out, or at least give me some tips and guide me. And this takes humility or vulnerability as well, which is really important. And it's okay to be vulnerable, by the way, because people will understand that, because they've been there too. They're no different. And so is to say, I'd love to help you out in some way. Maybe it's not even asking to be mentored, but it's just jumping into someone's space and offering to help. That could be another way to do it, is bring something in hand, have something in hand to get to offer. If it's someone that you really, really admire and you really respect and you love their content, offer to do something and not charge for it.
for sure.
That's how you get in people's world. That's how you get in people's spaces. Just find a way to get into the communities and find your tribe.
Community is it's all about community, and you said something really beautiful about the no's that sometimes, you know, also me, like in the dating world, so sometimes it's like, okay, it's our goal to get that no, because each no gets us closer to the yes, and it's something that many of us heard a lot, but that's the truth. And I think that even more than that, you said before, we don't have, even if we don't connect directly with them, if that person is someone we want to interview, or to not even to interview, to talk to whatever, to consult with them about something, that means they probably have content out there. You know, we're in 2023 right now. Go follow, you know, be there, like you said, give before asking. And if someone thinks he can't give, so just follow. And, you know, because I'm sure someone's watching this now and saying, no, I have nothing to give. All good. So just be part of that community, like Jill said, and just be there and comment and say, wow, amazing things that you're saying. And I'll just say, you know, just one more thing, that, you know, also in the dating world and also on YouTube and whatever, what I told to myself, in general, and anything in life, when I tie my self-worth to anything outside of me, so that means I'm not worth, like, I have no control of it. It's basically I'm locking myself in jail because I'm dependent on someone else or on something else, doesn't matter. But when each person, and I think that's also the most important connection, when we work on the connection to ourselves, and we connect more to ourselves, we invest more in ourselves, we see more of the beauty that is in ourselves, and then also other people see it. And, you know, when we're in that community, they want to be with us more. So I think that's also really crucial, not to judge ourselves based on if someone told me yes or no. All good, it's theirs. I told yesterday, I told a girl no, that I don't think we should continue going out. Does it say anything bad about her? No, not at all. She's a beautiful human being. We're not right to be together. So same thing also here. Now, I just have one last question about connections.
Yeah.
And I
I
really
love that, by
recommend-
the way. That's a really great point of view. Great perspective is to really love ourselves. And the more we learn to love ourselves, and how do we love ourselves, is through showing up for ourselves. That one thing a day, doing it every day. And when you start to, your inner being, you will learn to trust yourself. And when we show up and we're accountable, we build trust, like with anybody else. If you show up on time every day and you're working with me, I build trust with you. If we do that for ourselves and we say, you know what, I'm going to get this this video launched today, and then we don't do it, we broke trust with ourselves. And our inner being, we know that, and we don't like ourselves very much. So the quickest way to build self-love and trust, outside of meditation, in my opinion, is to show up for yourself and just pick one thing a day. It doesn't have to be anything major, like I'm going to do the laundry today, whatever. Pick something, right? And then do it consistently. And try not to pick something too big that you know you're not going to make it happen. Because as you start to build trust with yourself, you'll give yourself bigger things to do and bigger accomplishments. And then that'll exude out in other people, and you'll start to know and have confidence as well. It builds confidence.
I love it. So you're saying that building that confidence basically helps us to create that connection to ourselves, right?
Mm-hmm.
Amazing. And then I remember when someone told me, you know, we could only connect to a person to the level that we're connected to ourselves. So I think what you said just now, stretching this a little bit out of that comfort zone, building that connection with ourselves, seeing more of our capabilities, our beauty, will really also help us to connect with other people and give, like you said. And for just one, if you feel comfortable, if you just could get us one more example of a connection in your life. You mentioned already one, you know, you create early on when you're in the childhood phase, and then later on also. But if you could just give one more example for maybe later on in life, a connection that really helped you to make a big change in life.
Trying to think of one that I can talk about.
Yeah, that I know.
There's one. No, it's okay. There's the one that I mentioned with the woman that helped me in my career was a really amazing one for me. I think there's
still in
another.
contact?
Yes, actually, I thanked her. I actually did a little tweet on, or was it Twitter or LinkedIn? I think I did a LinkedIn, and I reposted something about her, and I did a shout out to her a couple weeks ago, and she responded. So it's really nice. She's in Tampa. But you know, I think it's just there was someone that I met at a Tony Robbins event a few years ago that I really loved their cause. I was a real champion of their cause, and I was like, I always wanted to participate and be involved in it. And I won't say what it is because it's kind of a big deal right now. But I just went up, and I was a little nervous, and I said, hey, I'd really like to meet you. Here's, you know, my name, And anything I can do to help you, I would love to. And this person responded immediately and said, I have the perfect thing for you to do. I would love to have you work with us. And it was life-changing. And I got to be a part of something really amazing. And so again, that nervousness, you know, when you're like, I don't know, I'm not sure, you know, you see the person, you're like, I don't know, you know, how big can you dream? How big can you possibly dream? And we have to ask, it's like, what am I afraid will happen? There's that's when you start to really dig in. When you're getting stuck, is that, I do it all the time. I'm like, wow, what am I afraid of? Rejection. There's a thing called 7 levels deep exercise. Okay, well, what does that mean? Why am I afraid of rejection? Well, because, and then you keep asking, you have to go through 7 and you go to the next one. It's like, well, because I won't have any friends, or I'll be alone, you know? And so why are you afraid? Why will you be alone? And you just keep asking, and you write it down, journal it, and you'll find out the real core of exactly where it is. And once you discover that, you're able to break free of that. You have the opportunity to really see where you're getting stuck and where it came from way back, probably. You know, for me, it was getting picked on as a kid, not being included, not whatever it is. And then say, and at one point, sometimes in our life, we say to ourselves, I will never, this is usually when you get 7 levels deep, is when you realize, I will never be fill in the blank because of this ever again. And then that's like, I'll never be rejected again. So then when we decide that, we don't even remember we did it. We don't realize consciously, oftentimes we make those agreements with ourselves. Then we go in our rest of our lives, and whenever we get something where we think there might be rejection, there's that voice way down in there, it's deep rooted, and it says, oh, you could get rejected. You said you're never gonna get rejected again. Don't do that. Don't do that. And so we're going like, I don't know why I don't have the confidence. It's the 7 levels deep. It's way, way down there. Something you made agreement with yourself a long time ago, and you said, I'll never do that. Wow. And so it's off topic with connection, but I think it really helps us to overcome that fear, finding out where you were afraid, and really dig in and spend some time with yourself on that, if you're really curious, for your audience.
Amazing. I think you gave here a lot of great tips all along the conversation, and we appreciate you for that. So if anyone wants to make a change in life, of course, we need to do the work, but there are many more people there that we can connect to and can help us get farther more than what we ever thought. So first, you could also go and learn from Jill, you know, and you would leave the links, right? You'll send me the links. I'll put them down below. People could contact you, and you can help them with that. And in addition to that, again, thank you for your time. I really appreciate the great value that you provide us today.
Thank you.
And it was great.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
Have a great day.
I hope you enjoyed the video and you got some tools to overcome your challenges and light your path. For us to help other people, please press that thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. And don't forget that the most amazing things in life are the one you take for granted.